Hi everybody, it's Mr. Stewart here with your assignment video for the animation course level 2 week 5, and this is going to be the first week of the dance assignment. So let's get started. Okay, so this week we are only going to be worried about the hips. We're going to do the upside down bouncing ball, or just the bouncing ball part of the dance assignment. So I've had my daughter here do a little Irish dance move, and I've got a frame counter on there. And if you want to just do this piece of animation, you can. You can come up with something on your own, and it's really helpful if you can get a frame counter on there. But you can just click ahead and count the frames if you want to do that. So now I'm going to draw it over here. I'm not going to draw it on top because this is going to be a good piece of paper for you to reference. So actually, most often I do this in a notebook that I keep beside me as I'm animating. So if you have a notebook or a piece of paper that you can use, this would be a good thing to do on a separate piece of paper that you can reference. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the up and down points. Now, I'm not really worried necessarily about the animation at this point. I'm just making notes that I'm going to use later as I compose the whole thing. So I'm just going to start up here and I'm going to draw just a circle and label it frame 1. And then I'm going to find the lowest down position. So that looks like frame 6. And I'm going to try to get reference in terms of how far down it goes. So I want to get the basic ideas of how far up and down I'm going to be animating my hips in when I'm actually putting it together. So if it goes down a little bit and then goes up a lot, I kind of want to draw it down a little bit and then draw it up a lot. And now I find the next time, so 24. Now this is where it gets tricky, because right in here, there's this one moment where it feels like she just kind of floats through the air. And that's where I'm actually going to make that a down position. So I'm going to skip ahead here, 31. And I'm not going to have it go as far down. Then I'm going to find kind of the midpoint in here and have her go up and sort of make a notation about this arc there. So the reason I want to do that, I want to exaggerate and emphasize the weight of that dance. And if I just do it like it does it in real life, it's just going to look a little bit less. It's going to look more floaty. Okay, so 35, I want to go a little bit higher. And you can see I'm sort of moving up, kind of stair-stepping up. 39, I'm going to bring down here. And 45 is pretty high, but I'm not exactly sure. Okay, is it as high as the last one? Well, it's actually higher. I should go back. And is it as high as that first one? Yeah, it looks pretty high. So I'm going to erase it here and make it a little bit higher than that first one. And maybe I want to make 39 just a little bit lower. And so I'm always keeping aware of how this shape is looking, and is it feeling interesting in terms of the amount of up and down that I'm getting. Am I getting a variation? am I getting enough movement? Okay, so 49. And sometimes I'll just skip ahead to the down position again. That looks about even. I might actually push it down a little bit more because I know a big one's coming up after that. And 54. And then now this is our biggest one. So 68. Now I've actually sort of drawn myself in a corner. I'm going to lower the whole thing here so I can make myself have some room. And so 68. And then 78 comes down. Then 87 back up here. Whoops. And I'll end it on 91. And I want to end it pretty close to where I started it because that is a general resting position.
So last time I used the reference in the program in Toon, but I'm going to do it that normally I don't put my reference inside of the program. Normally I keep it outside, and I'm just going to keep this kind of active here where I can walk through it. So one of the things I'll do is I'm going to try to track the amount of footsteps and foot positions, at least kind of, basically. Sometimes you can just kind of start, but it's kind of a good practice to know where you're going to begin and end. And so if I know I've got, a footstep, and I'm just going to bring this kind of over. Let's see if I can do this. Make this smaller so I can fit both of these on the screen here. There we go. Bring this over here, and then I can kind of have this. And I'm just going to work, as this being my planning. And if I kind of, well, here I'll just do a quick sort of maybe grid to give myself a little bit of room. If I, and let me make this BG and go to make another drawing, and I'll make this planning. And close that. I've got about 90 frames, I think. I need to open this up to about 93 or something like that. And I'm going to take this and then empty cells, so that background's there the whole time. Now I'm going to go to planning, and I'll kind of look through the planning and say, okay, I've got my 2 foot positions here. That kind of right there. They jump up, and there's another one. So maybe this. So this is one. Go to this next one. And there's kind of one here. And then this right kind of goes in front. And I'm going to make, one side all red and the other side all black. So maybe that's a little far in front. So kind of move this back a bit. And go back to the paintbrush. And I'm looking to where, if I look right here and make a new layer. What I'm trying to do is capture, kind of the same thing I could draw out here. Where are those feet? And you can see the left one comes out. So that's a little bit further in front like this. And I want that to be black. That's the left foot. And then the right foot comes down and I want that to be red. And then that comes out a little bit further. I want that to be black. And you can see I'm trying to get these to work in perspective. So they're starting off smaller, getting larger, kind of working with the background I've drawn out. And then I get that one last step, which is really kind of off screen even a little bit, but I'll kind of put that there. And now I have my my kind of foot positions that gives me at least a good sense of beginning and end point. Now I could do another planning page for and why did I do that? I'm going to do kind of for the body position. And for this, I want to figure out, okay, and maybe I'll do this in blue, kind of how big the body is going to be in each position. And so, I could draw the entire body, and I'm just going to do something really kind of simple, and just do kind of the in the same way that I've done the kind of the ball character before. I'll do this kind of here. Now, if I do that and I see, kind of this is, change my color here. This is kind of, what I'm looking at. So I could change that. I can make that a little taller, or I could keep it like this. And then as I go to the end, you can see kind of how that is going to grow like this. And kind of give me a sense. Now I can keep all of this really, really rough because this is just planning, and that's good because the more I can kind of plan out all of these ideas on one page like this, the easier it's going to be to help me when I kind of get in the middle, and that's the left foot, and I think that's the second step. Okay. So kind of on frame 50. So this would be kind of 93. This would be frame 1, and then somewhere in the neighborhood of 50. would be, you can see that the hips are a little bit higher. Now, 49 actually is pretty low, so I'm going to kind of go in here and, I've got a straight leg, and I'll maybe go. The nice thing about this line is this is going to allow me to know kind of my up and down positions of, where my character should be in the up and down ness of things. Well, now I'm doing this. Hold on. There we go. That might help. Let's pull that. There we go. Turn that. Let me just get rid of that and draw it over again. There we go. And then this over just a little bit. And this is around 50. Okay, so this gives me at least kind of a good sense of how to begin. These aren't the greatest poses, but they do help give me at least some context of where I'm going to go. And that's important for me because a lot of this is going to work in that context. Now, let me throw a transparency on here. Make that probably 80. Now, when I say context, what I mean is so much of animation in general is, dependent upon the up and down movements, getting that sense of a weight that's moving up and down, especially in dance. That becomes really important to be able to get a sense of that up and down, where are we going to be up positions, where are we going to be down positions, all of those, really making it feel that way. So now I'm going to have to, use these lines to know when I should bend my knees and drop my body down, when I should bring my body up and over that. So I'm going to do this in green here. And I'm going to now create my animation layer. And let's start that off. Close. I'm not sure why that didn't work. Oh, it added it in here. I don't want it in there, so I'll just take this one out, and this one I will delete and rename this. Okay, and I am ready to go. And here I would probably just kind of get started working from the on the animation level, just going from the up and down positions that I've put in there before. I'm going to put another transparency on those feet. Well, let me try this again. Effects, transparency, there we go. And I'll make those lighter as well. And this way I can get started and start off with my normal position for one. And I'm going to try to use the pencil this time. I'm always, it's easier, I think, to draw with the brush for me, but I'm going to try this and just try to keep things really, really loose. Then I would go to frame 6 here. And let me turn on my onion skinning. Now I'm just going to kind of look at this and say, okay, I'm going to get a good sense of the bend. I'm going to try to get the squash and stretch in, the feet, the legs, the hips, and then 15 would be the next position. And I can see kind of where the beginning was. So let me go to 15. Pull that in. And I could go in here and kind of take this down so I can really see the reference a little bit more clearly. And then I'm just going to keep going. So my next down position would be 24. Now sometimes I might go ahead to like 29 and just kind of get my sense of the movement forward. I don't always do this, but I'm just going to demonstrate why I might do this. Because now on frame 29, what I'm doing is I'm having that first step forward. And this is kind of coming off of this. This gives me 2 up positions. And then I could go in between that in frame 24 and I could see the down position there. So let me delete that. And now I can kind of see, where I would be going. Now I have this blue line to know. It'd be easy to put the down position right here, but that wouldn't be down far enough. If I'm going to do a down position, it's got to go below the normal position that I started with. And this gives me a little squash. Have that foot kind of coming in front. And let me extend that exposure. And you can start to see, I'm starting to get the sort of up and down positions. Now, I can go back in and see, like I did have this foot move forward a little bit. And so maybe I want to go and just have that foot kind of a little bit more in the middle. And you can see how the progression forward of the hips, the ball, is slowing out of the initial position. I'm trying to create a slow out so that it gains momentum. Okay, so I've done 29. And you can see I'm looking at how high have put these. Let's do 35 again. And let's do, when I mean 35 again, what I mean is let's do from the height to the height. Because this one's moving pretty quick. And so that's so it looks like in this one, both feet are going to be off the ground for just a moment, just maybe a frame. I really try to kind of work with let's see, so that would have gone down on that. Just going to be kind of coming in front. 35 is kind of high, a little bit higher. This foot's coming down here, so then I would go back to 31. Scroll back here a bit. And delete this. 31 is just a little bit further down, just to really kind of simulate that weight. And get that foot down. Still kind of some of the leg rolling off. Yep, so that's working pretty well. And then let me fill those empty cells. And then let me see if I can kind of nudge this over, see a little bit more here. All right, so I've done 35. Let's go, so I don't have that one numbered. That's okay, because I could go back and do this again. So if I look at 39 is my low position, and then 49 is my low position. Then up in the air is probably 46. So let's go with 46. Or I could do it the other way. Is I could then go to 39 and draw out my low position, because this is one of my lower positions. So go to 39 and got that right foot down. This is one of those things where you really have to be patient and know for sure, okay, why am I putting something on the ground? It's going down. I want to know this is my right leg. I want to get that sense of the impact, pulling the weight down. Bring this down below. Then I'm going to jump ahead to 49. And with 49, it's going to be kind of a switch of the legs there. So that would be, kind of around frame 50. And going to have a little bit more bounce down. And then I'm going to go in, and I figured that was around 46. We'll do 45. And that is going to be up in the air. Now, the tricky thing about this is making sure the legs feel like they switch. Because if I'm not careful, it's going to feel like the legs just kind of what we would call replace. So I might even want to go in and draw in another frame as a breakdown. That would be, maybe, oh, that is 46. Okay, that's what I was drawing. This is where, don't be discouraged if you make, there's so many things going on, so many things moving, legs, hips, that if you make a mistake, don't feel discouraged, because I obviously just made that mistake. And but the last thing I want to do is try to hold on to a mistake, because this is a great example of why it's so important to work loosely and rough. Now, what I mean by replacing, so this line is right here on the screen. When I go to this here, now it's in the exact same place as the other leg. So I might want to put in another breakdown that's going to be around frame 40, let's say 44. And let me delete that so that now I can see those. I can see those legs start to switch. And that'll just read a little bit clearer. All right, so let me fill in all of these. Always hit that wrong button. And fill empty cells. There we go. And all right, so turn this off here. So I'm getting a nice kind of post-test here so far. So I've got 49 to 59 again to 79 is a on the ground, so I could do that. So let's see. Let's go to 59. And that'll be 59. background. Keep that low. This leg will be kind of really high up, and you can see I want to start thinking in terms of the perspective. Then if I go to 78 or 79, do that on 78. And this is going to be and I want to make sure I'm keeping this sort of arc of these three poses kind of relating to each other. And then I can have the this is the front leg, so I want to make sure, you know, whenever I'm not exactly sure, I might go back in and just put in a black line like this to make sure I am clear when I come back as to which leg's in front, all of those different things. So now I can look at 54 and 68 as the up positions. So 54, back over here. So 54 is not going to be quite as high as previous up position. And hold on just a second. There we go. Let's delete that. And back to green. And I want to go to 54 to get a sense of what the pose is. Right leg is down. The back leg is from here. Okay, and then fill out the exposure there. And then go to 68. Find 68 here. And that, and then this, again, I want to get a sense, this is one of my biggest moments up in the air. That leg is straight out. And let's fill those empty cells. Now, I want to make sure that this leg that is kicking up is what is thrusting into the air. Now it does drift back down, so I might again want to go in and add in one more breakdown to really get a sense of what that leg is doing, because at this point this is important to really define the movement. And, you know, I'm keeping these as very loose lines. So that you can see that foot pulling the character into the air. And that might change the overall feeling. You know, I might want to feel like there's a little bit more movement up. And that just gives me a good sense of, you know, again, I might want to do a breakdown, 73, and this way I can really get a sense of what the hips, the legs, are really doing. Again, if I want to really just put in a little bit of extra there, take this off, fill these in. And then, all right, getting closer to the end. Pull this over even just a little more. 79, so then I'm going to go to 91, which is going to be very close to this last position that I have. And I'm just going to bring this in. Go back to green, turn these on. I'm going to bring down. So this is, again, if I know I'm doing a down position, I know I want, then my body lower, my hips lower. And I can always check it against this blue line that's going across. Now, I'm not sure why I did that on frame 85, but let's just move this over here to frame 91. And then I've got frame 87. It's going to be up in the air. And again, I can make sure that is higher. Not as high as this one, but still higher. And then letting this sort of roll off. Now that, you know, it's something I talk about in a lot of the videos, is the foot position. I want to make sure if I'm going to roll that foot, you know, off of the toe from the position that it's in, I want to make sure I am aware of those positions. So extend the exposure, fill empty cells. Now here's where I might I might just take another pass and say, is it worth going through and figuring out, is there more going on in some of these? You know, like this is a drawing that's held for a number of different frames. So if I went into frame around 82 and looked, you know, 82 might be worth just putting in a quick kind of feeling like the hips are going up. The leg is still out straight, and this foot is still pretty bent. Cells. Okay, so now I think I can take a look, and let me loop it here. So this gives me a pretty good first pass, a pretty good pose test. My feet positions feel relatively solid. There's a couple of things I might, on this one on 82, let me just go in there and, you know, and I could go back in and really kind of work out, you know, more of the details. I can turn off my body position, my planning. I could add in a color card so that I can make sure that the color card is below so I can see. But I have a nice sense of weight. There's a nice sense of footwork. And it's still rough enough that if I wanted to make any changes after showing it, that wouldn't be that hard to do. So at this point, I would make myself a video, turn that video in, and be ready for my review. So good luck, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have a great week.